Level pre-1. I'm going to do question 3 and 4. Question 3, the two candidates tempers something during the presidential debate. They angrily attacked each other's positions on issues throughout the night. So angrily is important. And temper is important. So this is going to be bad temper. And they are also debating. So this is going to get very strong. So the first word, flared, digested, professed, and tumbled. Start with flared. Flare is like a fire. So I think the phrase you would hear most would be flare up. And we would use this for something like a rash. So if I have a rash on my body and it's not bad, but then it suddenly gets much worse, it flares up. Because a flare, yes, we have to do this in order. A flare. He was stuck on a desert island and used a flare gun, a flare gun to shoot a flare into the sky to show a plane. Let's make it very clear, an airplane, that he was there. So you maybe have seen this in movies. It's a gun and it shoots like a firework up in the air that stays in the air and just is very bright. Just psh, and it stays in the air. That's important. That is a flare. So there is a flare gun and a flare. Now, when you crash your car, so there was a car accident, and the driver, I'm really bad at typing today, put down some flares so other cars would slow down. So if you think there's a car accident, you have a thing in your car and you pull the bottom and then red fire comes out the top. That is a flare. And you put it on the road so cars, maybe it's dark, they can see, oh, there's been an accident here and they can go around. So that's a flare. To flare up would be, like I said, there's a rash, so it's red. And it's under control. I put cream on it and it looks better. But then suddenly it gets much worse. It goes. So if you can think of that sound, that's the sound it would make. That would be it flared up. Eczema is a very common issue. Son has had eczema all his life and it flares up in the summer. So that means it gets worse. So actually, let's just do the full sentence. And it gets suddenly worse in the summer. So if you think about that, what you have is it's here, and then the summertime comes and it just spreads suddenly and gets much worse. That worse is actually important because the way this sentence is doing it, this is going to be the answer because the two candidates' tempers got much worse during the presidential debate. The sentence I just made was, my son's eczema gets worse during the summertime. So when we're using it, in this case, we're not using it for something physical. It's like the emotion of anger suddenly goes up and it gets very strong and very bright. He is usually very calm, but his temper, I'm going to use temper as well, flares up when you mention his ex-girlfriend. Oh, very dramatic. So do that sentence. Space. Good. He's usually very calm, but but he suddenly it's very angry when you mention his ex-girlfriend. He's usually very calm, but he suddenly, it should be gets very angry when you mention his girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend. You mention his current girlfriend and he gets angry. There's a different problem there. The two candidates' tempers suddenly got very angry. The two candidates suddenly got very angry. The two candidates' tempers suddenly got much worse during the presidential debate. They angrily is another hint, attacked each other's positions on issues throughout the night. Let's look at the other words. We'll learn all the other words as well. Digested. I ate dinner and I mean, digested is when you eat food, it goes into your stomach, and the acid in your stomach changes it so that you can use it for energy. That's to digest. Well, let's just do that. To digest is eat food and I don't know what to say. It takes a long time to digest. Takes because it's just a function of your body. So there's not much you can say when you use digest this way. There's another way to use it, which is interesting. It takes a long time for my body to change it into energy. Something like that. That's the like dictionary way to digest. We also use this for thinking. It was a very difficult book. We spent a lot of time digesting it. So in this case, we're not using digest like he ate the book. It's like his brain ate the content of the book. And so he spent a lot of time thinking about it. So that's another way. There's two ways to use digest. One is like your body using food to make energy. The other is your brain thinking about information. It's kind of more of an idiom, though. Okay. Professed. Professed is just to say, but in a very strong way. So it's always very dramatic. So it's always going to be he professed his love to the girl. He told the girl he loved her. That's it. But you can't profess simple things or very light things. It has to be very strong. So that's why it's always going to be love. I actually don't think I've ever heard professed used. He professed his innocence. So in a very strong way. That's a good sentence. Professed his innocence. Oh, innocence. Said he was innocent. Yeah. So, yeah, I can't profess what I'm going to have for lunch. That's too small. It's not important. This has to be very big and very important. So you have to profess something. It has to be very big. I've heard professed loved a lot, in Shakespeare and things like that. Professed his innocence. It'd be a very strong way saying, I'm innocent. You have to believe me. Can't think of too many other ways to use it because you wouldn't do it. I don't think you do it in anger. I don't think anyone ever professes anything angry. But in this one, I love you so much. In this one, you have to believe me, I'm innocent. There's a lot of passion. behind the word professed. And the last one is tumbled. It's to tumble. He tumbled down the stairs. He fell and rolled down the stairs. So that's it. It just means fell and kind of roll. We use tumble for like acrobats or gymnasts. They tumble, but they're doing it like in a controlled way. But if you fall down and you fell downstairs, gadung, 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 that would actually be tumbled. So go back to our sentence. The two candidates' tempers flared during the presidential debate. Two candidates' tempers suddenly got much stronger and much angrier during the presidential debate. They angrily attacked each other's positions on issues throughout the night. That is the right answer. Let's do number 4. Many banks required government something to stay in business after the stock market crash. The help mostly came in the form of large loans. This is something that really happened. Many banks required government help to stay in business. So we're looking for a word that's going to mean help after the stock market crash. So there was the stock market crash. Banks needed help from the government to stay in business. The help mostly came, so they didn't even use the word help. The help mostly came in the form of large loans. So the government gave the banks money. The words, number 1, intervention, appreciation, accumulation, starvation. So the first one, intervention. So the verb is to intervene. If I intervene in something, I jump in and try to stop a bad. The right answer is the first one again. I actually don't like it when the right answer is the first one because it's too fast. To intervene. So sisters were fighting. Whoa. I had to intervene. Sisters fighting, and I had to try and stop them. I almost said the phrase jump in. And that's kind of part of the feeling to intervene is to go suddenly. So it's almost like an idiom. I jumped in. So there's the two sisters, they're fighting. And then I jump in the middle and try to stop them. But to intervene is to try to help. Is to try to help suddenly. I haven't been doing my. Oh, I should be doing this. What is it equal? Intervening in things doesn't happen slowly. So, and there's, in this case, they're using it government intervention. So the many banks required government help to jump in and help suddenly to stay in business after the stock market crash. That's intervention. Trying to think of another way. The only way I've used intervention, there's another usage. This is, I've only ever seen it on TV. Family meeting to stop someone's bad behavior. I've seen this on TV. I don't know if this is real. I've only ever seen it on TV. I've never heard of someone actually doing it. But let's say I have a brother or a sister who's an alcoholic, and the family is very worried, and the friends are very worried. It's family and friends. It could be just friends, but family meeting to stop someone's bad behavior. So my sister is drinking too much. And so my family gets together and we say, we need to help this person stop drinking. Let's sit down and tell them we're worried about them. And it's kind of, that's an intervention. That's also different. I don't hear about them anymore. I think it was a trend on TV for a while. don't think this is something that really happens. I think people just go to doctors and psychologists, get therapy now when they have these kind of things. I haven't heard of a family intervention in a long time. The only other one, government intervention, that's like when the government tries to fix a problem. So for me, I'm trying to think of another entity, another thing that intervenes like the government, but it's almost impossible. Police intervention. What's something you would need to call the police? Fighting and it got violent. So the couple was fighting and it got violent and required police intervention. The couple was fighting and it got violent and required police to quickly, again, I want to say jump in, quickly try and stop it. So they're trying to help, they're trying to stop the fight. But because it's gotten violent, that, yeah, that's pretty good. Because you can have, so that's the right feeling, is to come in and suddenly try to help or change a situation. Usually you're trying to fix it. So the bank, in this case, the government is trying to fix the situation for the banks. In this case, the police are trying to stop the couple from hurting each other. Okay, appreciation. Appreciation. Appreciation means to show you are thankful. I wanted to show appreciation to my teacher, so I gave her some chocolates and a letter. That's very nice. To show my teacher, show how thankful I was to my teacher, so I gave her some chocolates and a letter. So that's pretty good. Appreciation is just me wanting to show another person that I am happy, they have helped me, they've done something for me, and I'm trying to say thank you. So I should show appreciation to my wife, giving her a present or being nice to her or doing something for her. It doesn't have to be a present. Present is the easiest way. But if I want to show I'm thankful, maybe I say to my wife, I will make dinner and I will wash the dishes and you please just sit and relax because you work too hard. That is another way to show appreciation, to show that I am thankful for all the things she has done to help me. Accumulation means get more. It's to, okay, because the verb to accumulate, get more. So in this case, we're doing accumulation would be, okay, let's do to accumulate. Of course, everyone wants to accumulate more money. Everyone wants to get more money. To build, to get more money. So it's not just accumulate isn't just get money. It's to get money and grow. Yes. So getting money is fine. I get money, but if I'm accumulating money, it means my money is growing in the bank, let's say, or I'm investing so that my money is growing. So accumulation is when things start to grow too much. The accumulation of mold in the corner made accumulation of the mold into the house made it unsafe to live in. So yeah, if you think of the word growing is a good word for this. The mold growing so much in the house made it unsafe to live in. So the accumulation of mold, the mold is in a corner, there's some little black spots, and then I don't take care of it, I don't clean my house, and that starts to grow, and then I don't take care of it, and it grows and grows. It accumulates. And then now I'm talking in the past tense, the accumulation of mold was so much that it was going to make me sick. So I had to move out of my house. And the last one, starvation. So the word here is, again, the verb is to starve, do not eat, and do not get. No, I guess to eat, not get enough food. So starvation. If I am starving, I live in an area, there's not enough food, I can't eat enough. I start to lose weight, I get thinner and thinner every day. I'm still not getting enough food, and then eventually I will die. So starving would be not eating enough food all the time. So we use I'm starving as almost an idiom in English. It just means I'm super hungry. But actually, starving means I haven't had enough food, I'm going to die. Country suffered from mass starvation because of climate change. Mass starvation when the crops failed. Ooh. So there you go. There's a very serious sentence for very modern times. This is a very real problem we have. So the country suffered from. Okay, I'm going to put mass is many people because it's mass starvation is a phrase we use in the news. Mass starvation is going to be when many people cannot get enough food. Many people dying from not getting enough to eat when the crops failed because of climate change. So it got too hot. We couldn't grow food. We couldn't grow rice. We couldn't grow wheat. There wasn't enough food in the country. People don't have enough food and they all start to starve. So starvation. Nope. So many banks required government help. Even put that here to stay in business after the stock market crash. The help mostly came in the form of large loans. Many banks required government intervention, the government to jump in and help really quickly to stay in business. I will put a link in the description so that you can download this document and read it. I'm going to do a little fixing at the top. I'm going to do it right now. To profess is say with passion. He tumbled down the stairs. To tumble. To fall and roll at the same time. To intervene. Oh, and then I got it right. Then I started doing my job properly. Okay, so this is going to be available in a Google Doc that you can download. If you want to download it, the link will be in the description of the video. If you have any questions, you can send an email to soundsgreatenglish@gmail.com. And I hope you have a really good week. Keep studying English.